Picture the Santiago Bernabéu on a European night, lights blazing, 70,000 voices rising as one. A 20-year-old Englishman in white surges into the box, shrugs off a defender, and rifles a ball into the net. The stadium explodes. That moment wasn't luck. That was Jude Bellingham announcing himself to the world. But how does a kid from a quiet Midlands town become the midfielder who is currently ruling Europe? How does he score like a striker, lead like a captain, and win like a veteran, all before turning 23? This is the story of Jude Bellingham, the boy who refused to wait his turn. Music shifts to warm, nostalgic tone. Jude Victor William Bellingham was born on June 29, 2003 in Starbridge, England. He grew up in a football mad home. His dad, Mark, had played non-league and later became a police sergeant. His mum, Denise, kept the family grounded. Younger brother, Job, would later follow him into the game. From the moment he could walk, Jude had a ball at his feet. At 6, he joined Starbridge Juniors. At 7, Birmingham City came calling. The academy staff saw something different straight away. Not just skill, composure, work rate, a hunger that made him stand out even among older boys. He trained with the first team while still at school. Teachers knew his dream. Classmates heard him say it out loud. One day he would play for England. Most kids say that. Jude meant it. Upbeat training footage vibe. On August 6, 2019, everything changed. 16 years and 38 days old, Jude walked out at Portsmouth for an EFL Cup tie. He became Birmingham's youngest ever first-team player, beating a record that has stood for nearly 50 years. 3 weeks later, at home against Stoke, he scored. 16 years and 63 days old. Youngest goal scorer in club history. That season he played 41 league games and scored 4 times. Fans fell in love. The club eventually retired his number 22 shirt in honor of what he achieved. At 17, he was already too big for the championship. Music swells with ambition. Europe was watching. Borussia Dortmund moved fastest. In July 2020, they paid around £25 million. Most teenagers would feel overwhelmed. Jude felt ready. He arrived in Germany speaking only school-level German. Within weeks, he was learning the language and the culture. On September 14, 2020, he made his debut in the DFB Pokal. Scored, youngest goal scorer in Dortmund's history. Again, over 3 seasons, he played 132 matches, scored 24 goals, and became the heartbeat of the team. In 2020-21, he helped lift the DFB Pokal. In 2022-23, he was named Bundesliga Player of the Season as Dortmund finished runners-up. A teenager leading a Champions League side, captain material at 19. But the biggest stage was calling louder. Epic orchestral swell. June 14, 2023. Real Madrid announced the signing. €103 million. The most expensive teenager in football history. The pressure could have crushed anyone. Jude smiled, walked through the famous gates, and got to work. His debut season was pure theater. He scored in his first 4 competitive games. First Englishman to do that at Madrid. He scored on La Liga debut, on Champions League debut, and in his first El Clasico. By the end of 2023-24, he had 23 goals across all competitions, 19 of them in La Liga, making him the club's top scorer that year. Real Madrid won the league. They won the Champions League. And a teenage midfielder was at the center of it all. Pause for emphasis. Think about that. Midfielders are meant to link play, protect the defense, feed the forwards. Jude did all that, and then finished like a number 9. He arrived in the box at exactly the right moment. He dribbled with purpose. He pressed like his life depended on it. Coaches called him a modern midfielder. Fans simply called him unstoppable. The individual awards rained down. La Liga Player of the Season, Golden Boy, Copa Trophy, Laureus World Breakthrough of the Year. He was voted into the FIFA FitPro World 11 3 years running. At 21, he was already considered one of the best players on the planet. Music turns reflective. Of course, it wasn't all glory. Moving countries twice before turning 20 brings challenges. The language barrier in Germany, the weight of expectation in Madrid, the physical demands of playing every 3 days against the best teams in the world. In July 2025, he faced his toughest test yet, shoulder surgery. Many wondered if the momentum would stall. He returned in September. Within weeks, he was scoring again in the Champions League. 2 goals and an assist in the group stage alone. The same drive, the same hunger. Injury only made him sharper. Build to international pride. England noticed early too. Senior debut at 17. Youngest player at Euro 2020. Youngest scorer at a World Cup in 2022. At Euro 2024, he scored crucial goals, provided assists, and reached the final. 46 caps and counting. The armband feels closer every year. But it's his club form that is Europe talking right now. In 2025-26, even after the layoff, he's already netted in La Liga and the Champions League. He's passed 100 appearances for Madrid, over 40 goals, multiple assists, 5 major trophies and counting. The numbers are ridiculous for his age. The impact is even bigger. Close-up style narration. So why exactly is Jude Bellingham dominating Europe? First, his versatility. He can play deep box-to-box or as a false nine. Wherever the team needs him, he delivers. Second, his physicality combined with technique. He wins duels. He carries the ball. He sees passes others miss. And he never stops running. Third, his mentality. At Dortmund, he was a teenager telling veterans what to do. At Madrid, he walks into a dressing room of Ballon d'Or winners and earns their respect. He leads by example. He speaks when it matters. Fourth, his goal threat. Midfielders scoring 19 league goals a season? That's striker territory. Yet Jude makes it look normal. Put it all together, and you have the complete modern midfielder. The player every big club wants. The one opponents fear most. Music builds to powerful close. His legacy is already being written. He's broken records that seemed untouchable. He's inspired a generation of English kids who now believe they can move abroad young and succeed. He's shown that talent, hard work, and the right attitude can conquer Europe before most players have even hit their prime. And he's only 22. The Santiago Bernabéu still roars his name. The Champions League still feels his presence. Opponents still look over their shoulder when he gets the ball. Jude Bellingham didn't just arrive in Europe. He took it over. And the story is far from finished. Music fades with triumphant final note. This is why Jude Bellingham is dominating Europe. The boy from Starbridge, the king of Madrid, the future of football. Subscribe for more football documentaries.